Ducks are fun. If by fun you mean tiny tornadoes of chaos wrapped in feathers. They waddle around like they own the place, and the second they see water, oh, it's over. Ducks act like they just got cast in a Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition every time they're near a puddle. I thought I had outsmarted their water loving antics by cutting small holes in a tote top, thinking, ha, no more splashing. But no. I glanced into their coop just in time to see a duck gleefully spraying water from its mouth all over its back, like some kind of feathery, self-made lawn sprinkler. Another time I watched a duck stand perfectly still, staring into its fresh water dish like it was contemplating the meaning of life, only to suddenly plunge its entire head in and start thrashing like it was trying to baptize itself. They just can't help themselves. Meanwhile, quail? They don't have time for that nonsense. They're like the introverted geniuses of the poultry world. No excessive water games, no mud pits in the middle of their living spaces. They take dust baths like normal, respectable birds and then get back to the important business of laying eggs. Speaking of eggs, let's talk numbers. Ducks are decent layers, sure. Depending on the breed, they can lay between 200 and 340 eggs a year. But they eat like they've been on a week-long fast every single day. And that means more feed, more mess, and more poop. So much poop. Seriously, if you've never owned ducks, you're underestimating just how much waste they can produce. You think chickens are bad? Ducks will make you question all your life choices. Quail, on the other hand, are overachievers. They start laying at just 6 to 8 weeks old and they average 300 eggs a year, sometimes more. Rosettas can even lay up to 340 eggs a year, matching the best duck breeds, but on a fraction of the feed. Meanwhile, ducks take a leisurely 5 to 6 months to get their act together. So if you want eggs fast and often, quail are the clear winners. And let's not forget space. Ducks need room to roam. A single duck needs at least 4 square feet of space, and if you don't give them enough, they will turn your backyard into a swamp. Not a cute, scenic swamp. No, I'm talking about a gross, muddy, poop-filled disaster zone that smells like a science experiment gone wrong. You'll wake up one morning and wonder if you accidentally built a duck habitat for a local wetland restoration project. Quail? You can keep one in a single square foot and they'll be perfectly content. They don't need a pond, they don't splash their drinking water everywhere, and they don't destroy your carefully planned setup just for fun. You can even stack their cages vertically to maximize space, something you definitely can't do with ducks unless you enjoy chaos. Noise level? Ducks are loud. Even the females quack constantly, and when they get excited, forget it. Your whole neighborhood is getting an unsolicited concert. Have you ever heard a duck discover a treat? It's like a mix between excited screaming and aggressive honking, and once one starts, the whole flock joins in. It's not just a noise, it's a scene. Quail, on the other hand, are quiet. Males make a soft cooing sound, and the females barely make a peep. You could raise an entire flock in suburbia, and no one would know. Your neighbors wouldn't even give you the side-eye for running a backyard bird choir. And then there's the cleanup. Ducks don't just drink water. They treat it like a personal playpen. Every bowl of water becomes an opportunity for backflips, synchronized swimming routines, and, you guessed it, more mess. I've seen ducks turn a clean water bucket into a murky disaster in under 5 minutes. It's honestly impressive in a horrifying way. Quail, by contrast, just drink their water. They don't bathe in it, they don't fling it across their enclosure, and they don't make you question your life choices every time you check on them. Then there's meat production. Ducks definitely give you more meat per bird, and while they take a comparable amount of time to grow, ducks eat like sumo wrestlers in training. If you want a meat source that doesn't devour half your feed bill, quail are the way to go. They're ready to process in just 8 to 10 weeks. They eat far less, and their meat is considered a delicacy. Plus, since they require so little space and food, you can raise a lot more of them with minimal investment. Weather resistance is another big one. Ducks handle cold like absolute champs, waddling through snow like they're built for it. They don't care if it's freezing. They'll just keep going about their day like little feathery Vikings. I've seen ducks happily standing in ice water, looking at me like I'm the crazy one. Quail, not so much. They need proper shelter and a little more care in extreme temperatures. If you live somewhere in the harsh winters, you'll need to give them extra protection, but in hot climates, the tables turn. While ducks love water, extreme heat can be stressful for them, and they'll need plenty of shade and access to cool water at all times. Quail, on the other hand, are desert-adapted birds. They handle heat better as long as they have proper ventilation and water, making them a great option for warmer regions. Another thing to consider is predator risks. Ducks are bigger and can sometimes hold their own a little better, but they're still pretty vulnerable. Raccoons, foxes, and hawks would love a duck dinner if given the chance. And because ducks tend to wander, they make themselves easy targets. I've seen ducks casually walk right up to a fence where a predator is lurking, like they're introducing themselves. Quail, being smaller, require well-secured housing, but because they can be kept in cages or aviaries, they're often easier to protect from ground and aerial predators. If you keep them off the ground, most predators won't even know they're there. Then there's breeding. If you want ducklings, you'll either need a broody female or an incubator, and even then, ducks have a longer hatch time of about 28 days. And once they hatch, get ready for more chaos. Ducklings are adorable, sure, but they're also tiny, wet, slippery, and obsessed with making a mess. Quail? They hatch in 17 to 18 days, and while they don't go broody in captivity very often, their rapid reproductive cycle means you can replenish your flock quickly if needed. And quail chicks are low maintenance compared to ducklings. They dry off fast, they don't need a miniature pond in their brooder, and they won't immediately try to launch themselves into water the second they see it. Quail will only attempt to take a nap in the water if given the chance. So while ducks are entertaining in a watching a train wreck kind of way, quail are the clear winner if you value efficiency, space saving, and slightly less chaotic existence. Tiny birds, big impact, zero water fights. What's not to love?